So start with a comfortable seat, sit up nice and tall through the spine. Take a moment to close your eyes or turn your gaze low. And here we just welcome ourselves to the practice by acknowledging the breath, doing your best to stay really present with each inhale, each exhale. This practice of breath, of connection to body and the movement being the top most important thing for this coming practice. One more nice full inhale breath. And exhale, release it out. Okay, today, since we are splitting 30 minutes active practice, 30 minutes restorative, we're going to get right into the active movement. Come onto your mat on all fours. Place the hands right under the shoulders, knees right underneath the hips, and do cat and cow. Just move the spine back and forth here. On the inhale, drag the chest forward and through, eyes and tailbone lifted. And then exhale, press down through the hands and knees, around the back and drop the head. And you can add in a little extra movement, maybe a little more side to side, staying in one position longer than the other, whatever feels nice to you to open up time on your yoga mat today. And then as you are ready, stretch into downward facing dog. So a little longer stride, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. And same sort of thing here in downward facing dog, pedal out the feet, continue to shake the head a little, yes and no, kind of wag the hips from side to side, do all the things that help to release, let go of a little tension that has built up throughout a day's work that you just don't need to carry with you at this moment. A couple more solid breaths here. And then take a nice deep bend in your knees and walk your hands backwards to your feet. So we end up at the end of our yoga mat. Ragdoll pose, hold on to the elbows, do a little bit of a sway from side to side. And nice and slow, roll it up to standing. Roll through each vertebrae of the body. And then roll the shoulders up and back a couple of times. And roll the shoulders forward and down a couple of times. Oh, yay, Claudette, you've made it. Okay, let's take a walk up to the front edge of the yoga mat. And here, inhale, lift the arms up to the sky, big full reach. And then exhale, forward fold, tap down to the floor. Inhale, half lift, extend from the hips out to the crown of your head. And exhale, step back to plank pose, the top of our push-up. Straight arms, straight legs, squeeze in the glutes, lengthen your tailbone, tone the belly. Try looking a little bit forward of the hands. Stay here at the top of plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lie flat down onto the mat. Push the top of the feet and the hands down to the mat and lift your chest up for cobra. Squeeze the elbows into the side, keep them bent. Let the curl come from the upper back here. And then change to child's pose. Push your hips back to the heels. Here in child's pose, stay and reach out to the fingertips. Pop up to the fingertips. Lift your forearms, your elbows, your upper arm bones to the sky. And then take a little walk, hands over towards the right side here. So if I'm thinking of the top of my yoga mat as a 12 on a clock, walk your hands over towards the 2. And give a longer reach out to the left fingertips and pull back on the left hip. And then walk the hands across the center, on over to the second side. So now you're about the 10 on a clock. And here, reach out to the right fingertips and at the same time, try to pull back on the right hip. Okay, bring the hands back to the middle. Let's take it back to downward facing dog. And then look forward in between your hands and take a little walk all the way up to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. 2 more rounds, just a little quicker here. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, hands to thighs or shins. Nice long spine. Step it back to plank. Lower right on down to the yoga mat. Peel your chest up for cobra. Nice. Go downward facing dog, hips up and back. Breathe here. And then change. Look forward to the hands. Step, walk, jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Bring palms together, center of the heart. One more time for the sun salutation A. Lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Extend the spine, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower flat down to your mat. Peel the chest up in cobra, nice upper back bend. And then downward facing dog, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Take a few steady breaths in this down dog. Then change, look to the hands, step or jump, front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. And bring palms together, center of the chest. Find a steady gaze or even close the eyes. Stay here for a couple of breaths. For the month of April, I'm really focusing on the mantra, be present. Simple mantra, harder to do. Be present in each breath. Purpose on the mat here. Moving on a bit, as you open the eyes, take the hands to the hips. Keep the right foot forward and step your left foot back until you're in a nice high lunge. Front knee over the line of our ankle. We try to squeeze the inner thighs towards each other, nice and strong in the glutes as well. And then reach the arms up to the sky. Turn your palms in towards each other. From here, we'll take a twist in the upper body. Twist towards your right arm behind you, left arm out in front of you. And then come back to the center. Do it 2 more times, exact same direction, twist towards the front thigh, and then arms back to neutral, and 1 more time towards the front thigh, and back to neutral. Lower the hands around the front foot and drop the back knee down. So now you've got back knee, front foot, and inhale, lift the arms back up towards the sky. Same-ish thing, it's a twist. Take the arms across the front thigh. Stay here. Another breath. And now bring the arms again back up. And set the hands down to the inside of the foot. Okay, let's create a little more space. Heel toe the right foot over to the side. You can turn the toes, knee, hip out here. Keep the knee over the center of the foot. And then try it down to your palms, little bend in the elbows, even all the way down to the forearms. So get lower, as low as works for you. Stay with your breath. And then nice and slow, walk it back up to the hands. Heel toe the right foot back more towards the center line of the mat. Lift your back knee up and step forward, both feet to the front of the mat, and a standing forward fold. Make the legs as straight as they'll go. Change here, a little bend in the knees so that we can come upright. Place the hands to the hips, push down into your feet, come all the way up. Second side, keep the left foot forward and step your right foot back. Take some time, feet about hip distance apart. Find where you feel pretty steady. Strong squeeze in the legs, lift the arms up to the sky. And we're trying to keep our torso vertical, lifted here, and we're adding a twist. Look towards your left, and right hand goes forward. And then come back to neutral. You'll do it 2 more times. Twist and look to the left. Come back to neutral. Nice full tone in the abdomen here. Think navel towards the spine as you twist to hold that balance. And then back up. Lower the hands each side of the front foot. Drop the back knee. Have a squeeze, back knee forward, front heel back. And then hands again, upright and to the sky. A little longer hold, take a twist here. It's right arm to the outside of the left thigh, and just stay one time for a few breaths. And inhale, bring the arms up, and then set them down inside of the front foot. In here, we're gonna heel toe the left foot all the way over to the left edge of the mat. As I turn the toes out, I've got my toes off the mat, the heel's still on the mat. Knee, hip, everything turned out about 30 degrees. If it feels okay to you, you can go lower to the hands, bend in the elbows, or all the way, forearms down to the yoga mat. A nice little in-between stage if you happen to be with a yoga block or something that substitutes like a stack of books. The forearms could be under that block here, give you sort of a midway point. And then nice and safe, walk it back up to the hands, heel to the left foot in so that we can bring our hands to either side. Lift the back knee and step it forward. Hands to the waist, point the elbows to the sky, push down into your feet and come all the way upright. Excellent. We'll turn towards a long edge of the yoga mat and take a wide stance here. Turn the toes parallel to one another. Extend the arms out in either direction like a big shooting star. Okay, I'm gonna start left foot turned out first. Right foot stays straight ahead towards that long edge of the mat. Triangle pose, hinge from the hips, lean as far as you can to the left. And then take left hand to your shin, maybe as far as to the ground, top arm up to the sky. We're not so worried about how far we can go down in this pose though. It's more, can we keep our arms, our legs straight, spine long, present in the breath. We've got this. On your next inhale breath, come all the way back up. Stay on this side and bend the front knee to warrior two. Gaze out over your front fingertips. So warrior two, whichever side you decide to go first. Elbow down to the knee and take the top arm, palm down, reach overhead. Side angle pose. And keeping elbow to knee, you could choose to bring the bottom fingertips down more towards the floor. That's harder though. Choose the pose that works for you. Give it one more breath. And then come back upright and straighten the leg. Turn the toes parallel to one another and do a wide-legged forward fold here. Fingertips down to the ground, and then bring your head towards the ground. Nice strong stretch through the back of the legs. To do that safely, push the weight a little more towards your toes, less in your heels. Change here, bring the hands to the waist, push down and out through your feet, and come all the way upright in the torso. Heel toe the feet in for a moment, give it a little bit of a shake. And take a wide stance again, just as you were. Extend the arms out, big star shape. This time, second foot, turn your right toes out. Hinge from the hips, reach as far as you can to the right. Lower the right hand to your shin, or again to the ground if it reaches, and left arm up to the sky. There's a tendency to lean the top arm forward, the butt back. Try to keep everything as centered as possible. Left arm straight up to the sky, tailbone kind of tucked underneath you. And full strength. Inhale, stand back up. Bend the front knee. Take it to side angle pose, elbow to the knee, top arm, palm down, reach long overhead. Just like in triangle here, you're trying to keep a little scoop of the tailbone underneath you. So we're not leaning forward or back, just right into the center. And inhale, warrior two, lift the torso. Straighten the leg, turn the feet parallel to one another. One more time in that wide-legged forward fold, hands down, head towards the ground. Lift up on your kneecaps, tone in the quads to get a strong, safe stretch through the back of the leg. Moving right along, look towards the front of your yoga mat and walk yourself into a low lunge, and then transition, step back to downward facing dog. So we're here in down dog, hands to the front, feet to the back. Lift the right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. And pull the knee into the chest and hover forward like in plank pose. Swing the leg back up, three-legged dog. And we'll do that twice more. Pull the knee in towards the nose. And then lift up and back, three-legged dog. Nice strong abdominal arm strength work here. Come forward again. And then shoot the leg back to plank. Left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Pull the knee into the chest, come forward in plank pose, little round in the upper back. Nicely done. Lift, three-legged dog. And then change, knee into the chest, round. Three-legged dog, up and back. One last time, pull the knee in, hover, and then shoot it back to plank. Lower flat down to the yoga mat. Reach your hands back, turn the palms to the sky. Lift everything that you can up away from your yoga mat. Locust pose, lift, 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 lift. And exhale, release down. Push to child's pose, knees a bit apart, big toes together, press back. We know this. A little release. Soften through the body. Okay, come back to all fours. So one more active posture before we switch towards restoratives. And again, the last half of class, restoratives, we'll use some blankets, a bolster if you have it, which could be just another blanket, a pillow, a cushion. So from here though, pigeon pose, right knee towards the right wrist, stretch the left leg back and come down to your forearms. So it's a lot like that forearm lunge from earlier, but instead we've tucked our heel in towards the opposite hip here to get even a little more stretch in the outer hip. Try to soften your gaze. And slowly walk back up to the hands. And we're gonna lean towards the front thigh so that you can bring your back leg around and take it all the way over for a twist. Run my left foot to the outside of the right thigh. And you can keep the right heel tucked in or stretch it out, whichever one feels better to you. Tucked in tends to be a little more challenging. Sit up really tall, and then we're going to turn towards the front thigh. So right elbow to the outside of the left thigh if possible. Sit up really tall, exhale to twist. Keep pushing your left foot flat against the ground to give you more lift in the spine. Okay, and then we take a slow unwind. Take the left foot back behind you and we just kind of resituate over to all fours. And then we're ready for our second side. Left knee behind the left wrist. Kick the heel towards the right side. Walk the right leg back until you can come down to the forearms. Starting to transition, give ourselves a little bit of the quiet time that will come in the restoratives. Okay, and then walk back up to your hands. Fall towards the left thigh. Bring the right leg all the way around to the front and stamp over. Again, make it a little easier. Extend the bottom leg or keep it tucked underneath. Sometimes the second side is different. You don't have to do exactly the same. Give it a lift on the inhale, a little more twist on the exhale. Option to hug around the front of the shin or take elbow to the outside of the right thigh. One more breath here. And then inhale and slowly unwind. Lean back on your hands to extend both legs out in front. Flex your feet, point the toes straight up to the sky, lift the arms so your whole body makes like an L shape, and then fold over your legs. Seated forward fold. This is called Paschimottanasana. Hold on to your feet or the ground. Imagine your spine sort of slowly arching like a rainbow here. An even bend all the way through. Give yourself a few more breaths there. And then slowly come back upright. So come back to a comfortable seat. You can just sit cross-legged here. Kind of like we started class, nice and tall through the spine. Taking a few breaths, kind of reflecting on the activity and the movement of the practice. Letting the breath slow down as we transition for this restorative piece of class. I'll be sharing my screen, having our monthly restorative practice from Tuesday Irby take us through here.
With each inhale, feel yourself more present here now in this time and in this space. With each exhale, feel your body beginning to soften from the inside out. With each inhale, feel yourself sit up a little taller and a little bit stronger. And with each exhale, feel your body beginning to release tension and stress, any worries, any anxieties. Begin to let them go one exhale at a time. And now bring your palms together in front of your chest. Lift your chest to meet your thumbs. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Make the back of your neck long. Keep the front of your throat open and clear. Inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale fully, open mouth. Again, inhale deeply. Exhale fully. And once more, inhale deeply. Exhale fully. By your chin towards your chest, release your hands to your thighs. Gently open your eyes and lift your chin. And let's get some rest. So we're going to start with our blankets. First, take one blanket. If you don't have blankets, you can use full-size towels or any throw blankets from your bed or from your couch. So we're going to take one blanket, fold it in half, fold it in half completely. So it was folded in half the long way first, then the short way, and now I'm folding it in half one more time. Turning the rounded edge toward me, place that down right at the head of your mat. Next, we take one blanket. I'm going to open it so it's long. And then we're going to roll this up the long way so you end up with a thin, long roll. And you place that, leave some space between your head blanket and the rolled blanket. And I'll show you why in just a second. And then take your bolster, place your bolster kind of about where your knees will fall, and take your last blanket, open it one time, and then roll it up from the short end with the fringes turned away from you. So this one will be a roll that's a little thicker and shorter than the first roll. And then we place that directly on top of our bolster. So to come into our first pose, you're going to sit down all the way between all the props. Bring the backs of your knees over the top roll. You want to make sure that the heels of your feet come all the way down to the floor, and if they don't, then place another rolled up blanket underneath your heels of your feet. Now, as you lay back to come into this pose, you want this second roll to come down to the bottom of your shoulder blades. So you have a slight lift in your rib cage. Arms and shoulders go in the space between. Make sure your back of your neck is fully supported. Separate your feet as wide as the roll will allow. And then simply close your eyes and rest. Be sure to relax your effort and allow your entire body to rest fully over your props. bring your mind back from wherever it may have wandered. Inhale deeply through your nose and exhale fully, open mouth. And now carefully bend your knees so that you can press down. Bend your knees, place the bottoms of your feet on the roll that's on your bolster, and roll to one side, whichever side feels good and safe to you. And just barely lift your torso to remove that roll. And then roll back onto your back for a moment so that your back is now flat against the floor. And just breathe here for a moment, noticing how your spine feels, noticing how your back and chest feel. And then very carefully bend your knees again. Roll on to whichever side feels good to you. Pause on your side for a moment. And then use the strength of your hands and arms to press yourself all the way back up into a comfortable seat. And just sit up tall, noticing how you feel. We allow a moment or two for our bodies to begin to integrate the benefits of the pose. And now gently open your eyes. All right. We just have some very minor adjustments to make for our last pose, our final relaxation pose. So leave the setup that we had for our legs over the bolster. You can leave your head blanket exactly as it is. And we're just going to convert this roll to a short roll, like the one that's already on our bolster. So I've opened it up, I've unrolled it, and now I'm rolling it again, but this time back the short way, fringes away from you. And then place that one down. This will be to rest the heels of your feet or your ankles onto. Okay, so to come into this pose, pretty similar to the last one, but you'll feel a difference. Your body will feel a difference at least. All right, so the heels of your feet or your ankles can rest on this bottom roll, backs of your knees over the top roll, and then simply lie all the way back. Adjust your body, your clothing, the props to what feels good for you. Do whatever feels good with your hands and your arms. And notice the similar shape of this pose compared to the last one, but also notice how they're different. Inhale deeply through your nose. And exhale fully, open mouth. And simply rest. Allow your body to fully settle down into this pose. When your mind begins to wander away from your body and your breath, very gently allow those thoughts to drift away. No need to follow your thoughts to their end. And just bring your awareness back to your inhale and your exhale. And just rest and breathe. As you continue to rest in our final relaxation pose, there's nothing for you to do but continue to rest and follow the sound of my voice. Bring your awareness to your spine. Feel its natural curves from your tailbone to the small of your back, and then follow it up the back of your follow it up to the back of your heart, and continue to track it up to where your neck meets your head. Feel your breath continuing to soften. And feel your body the way the currents of a river soften its banks. Now picture yourself sitting on the soft banks of a gentle river winding through the forest. See how easily it flows over and around rocks and trees in its path, without hesitation or struggle. Notice how, when it picks up debris such as leaves and branches, the water's flow simply washes them downstream. Dip a toe into the river and feel that the water is warm and inviting. Imagine yourself safely floating down the river, joining its slow currents to carve a path through the landscape of your life. Let the currents soften your body and feel your ability to flow around obstacles placed in your path. Float downstream and feel tension dissolve from your body and worries wash away from your mind. Soon you'll come to an eddy and easily climb out of the river and lie on the bank to dry off in the sun. And now very easily, very gently, return to your body and the room that you're in, but hold on to the feelings and the soft reminder of currents of energy and breath flowing within you. And now, bring your awareness fully back to your body, fully back to your breath. Inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale fully, open mouth. Gently move your head from side to side as if to say no. Bring some gentle movements to your fingers and your toes, wrists and ankles, knees and elbows. Bring your knees in towards your chest and squeeze in tight. Give yourself a little rock side to side. And now roll on to whichever side feels good to you. Take a breath there. Use the strength of your hands and your arms to press yourself all the way back up into a seat. With your eyes closed or your gaze softly turned down, take a moment to notice how you feel.
Allow 2 more breaths here. Still envisioning the river, envisioning the current of energy. And bring palms together. Nod the chin down towards your chest, giving full gratitude to yourself, each other, and for this time of active and restorative yoga practice. Namaste.